Fantastic.
Great. All right. This was my first Instagram live, so
It's my
technical
third in my
stuff
life,
is
so anyway,
finally coming together. So thanks.
it's great. No problem. Um, just see if people join. If it's a really bad time for people to watch, this will go up on the Instagram feed and on YouTube. Fingers crossed if it goes smoothly. And yeah, so that will be accessible later. But we're doing it in real time now, which is really nice to do that. So, hello, Peter. Thank you very much for being
Yeah.
on.
No, great. Thank you for the invitation.
No problem. And to introduce Peter Carter, he is the founder and director of the Catholic Sacred Music Project, which I admire very greatly. I think it's a wonderful thing. I would firstly like to ask you how, like, where the inspiration came from to start this project, and when did it start?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just maybe frame what the mission of the project is and what we try to do. So, um, the Catholic Sacred Music Project puts together different kind of training workshops and conferences for church musicians to um, basically have opportunities for professional development in a Catholic supportive atmosphere. Um, so the inspiration for that came from my studies at going to music conservatory at Westminster Choir College, and it was a phenomenal experience and had wonderful music experiences and formation and mentors and all of that. And a lot of the music that you study, especially the choral repertoire, so much of it is sacred music, particularly liturgical music. And so it's a little bit ironic in many ways that for a church musician to pursue a thorough education in becoming a church musician and all the skills that requires, that in most places you kind of have to pursue a musical education outside of the church, and in order to serve the church. So because even though I had a wonderful time at Westminster, most of the faculty, by and large, were not Catholic and didn't kind of have that kind of liturgical formation of understanding the context that a lot of the music that we were singing and performing was composed for. So, but at the same time, the musical skills and education was kind of the highest musical level. And so the inspiration for founding the Catholic Sacred Music Project was to try to combine the highest levels of musical education and formation as a church musician and all the various skills you need with kind of a firm Catholic identity, and trying to create opportunities for musicians to have experiences where both of those things are um, together and in one experience. So in our conferences and workshops, we try to have daily mass and parts of the liturgy of the hours, compline or vespers, as well as all of the musical seminars and rehearsals and training as well.
Yeah, that's excellent. I very much agree with my musical education. It was secular and Anglican, and then I took it across to being Catholic. So I think it's just really admirable to try and mix the two, finally, like people trying to do that and bring it back to the church that it started from, really. So
Right.
excellent. A little bit about you. Could you just explain to others besides the Catholic Sacred Music Project, what are your other roles and what might people not know about you that, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, I work as an active church musician, so I'm the parish music director at St. John the Baptist Parish in Allentown, New Jersey. And that parish has both forms of the Mass in the Roman Rite. So we have the traditional Latin Mass, as well as the Novus Ordo Masses. So I direct the music for all of those Masses and liturgies. And then I also serve as the music director for the Aquinas Institute at Princeton University, which is the Princeton University's Catholic chaplaincy. So for that, I direct the music mainly for the Sunday afternoon Mass for the students at 4:30. And then my third job is as the director of the Catholic Sacred Music Project. And we're having a few programs this coming June at Princeton.
Yeah, that's excellent. Side note with the Aquinas Institute, I saw the video you put up yesterday, like a trailer. And it's so good. I didn't realize. So congratulations, you're doing amazing things there, it seems. So that was awesome.
I was really impressed with my friends who the videographers and all of that. They're very, very talented. So excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah, it's inspiring. Yeah, it's really good. Okay. And who else is on the board of the Catholic Sacred Music Project? Because it's not just you, is it?
Yeah, right now there's 3 of us on the board. So my founding colleague is Timothy McDonald, who serves as the director of choral activities at Hillsdale College in Michigan. Formerly he was at Catholic University in Washington, D.C. But we kind of envisioned founding this together a number of years ago. And then the third member on the board is Benjamin LaPrairie, who's the assistant music director at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington, D.C.
Very cool. Awesome. I do see their music regularly, so it's good.
Yeah, so they have a great video broadcasts and everything of their music, and a wonderful choir. So they do a great job in kind of helping present sacred music to the world, done really beautifully.
Cool. So was it your initial idea, or was it sort of a team idea to create this project? What happened?
So initially it was a brainstorming idea with me and Tim McDonald. The first program we had was in 2021 for it was a choral festival that concluded with a big pontifical mass for the Feast of the Assumption. And it was really building on this tradition of having this big Mass for the Assumption that that this parish has had in celebration of their parish community. It's kind of like their feast day, and they've had for their tradition for the past 20 years of going all out for this Mass for the Assumption and raising money to have an orchestra and an orchestral Mass. So it's been a really big musical celebration of the Mass for many years, and there's always many people. I think it's been at the cathedral in Philadelphia for quite a while now, and I think that holds about somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people, and it's always full. So yeah, so Tim McDonald has directed the music for that since that started 20 years ago, and then this idea of starting the Catholic Sacred Music Project was initially just, okay, well, how about we organize a conference where all the participants can be a part of that choir that will sing for the Assumption Mass, and then we'll invite some, renowned faculty to be a part of it, and then it'll end with this glorious Mass, and it'll be great. So that was in 2021, and Sir James McMillan came from Scotland, and he was the festival conductor for the Mass. So that's kind of how it got started. The next year we did a choral festival in San Francisco in collaboration with Archbishop Cordileone and Sacra Liturgia that he was hosting out there. And then we did a conducting program that August back in New Jersey. And then last year we had a composition institute in Virginia, DC area, and another conducting program in New Jersey. And then this will be the first year where all of our programs are going to be in New Jersey and at Princeton University. So I'm hoping we can develop that kind of as the home base. It's a lot easier for me as the director that it's in my neighborhood, and it's a lot easier to organize things that are local. So
beautiful as well, very beautiful place.
Yeah.
So getting on to these, there's 3 workshops or institutes, we should say, and if I get it correct, we've got Conducting Institute, Composition Institute, and Choral Institute. Is that right? So you can elaborate as much as you like on those 3. Please explain to everyone what they could expect, and maybe throw the dates in if you can think of that as well.
Yeah. So we're having 3 Sacred Music Institutes in a 2-week span of time in mid-June. So this will be our 2nd Composition Institute, and Sir James Macmillan's coming from Scotland to lead that. And we'll hope to have 8 composition fellows who will be once the applicants are accepted on all of that. The accepted applicants will be kind of commissioned a text. They'll be sent a text to write a piece for the Composition Institute, and they'll be able to have private lessons with Sir James during that week, and then there will be a professional choir that will premiere the work they wrote at the end of the Composition Institute, and that'll be recorded. So it's a really kind of unique opportunity to engage with one of the most renowned living composers, to write new music, have it premiered and performed at a high level, and then have a recording of that. And so we're trying to help promote new, beautiful sacred music for the church, and have it be a living tradition of, not just ancient music, but new music, the whole gamut. At the same time as that, we're going to have the Choral Institute, and that will be, hopefully have 16 singers coming to that, and they will have daily seminars with Gabriel Crouch, who is a former member of the King Singers, and he's the head of choral activities at Princeton. And so that will be kind of intense training for small ensemble singing, and to help people have the skills to take their small ensemble singing to the next level. This is the first time we're doing this particular program, so I'm excited to see how it fully develops and to kind of craft it in a way that's most helpful for the musicians to grow in their skills. But I think the popularity of groups of small ensembles like Voces 8 or things like that, they're amazing and beautiful to watch. And so this kind of program is designed to help choral singers, people who sing sacred music all the time, help equip them with the skills they need to take their small ensemble singing to the next level. How can you sound like an amazing quartet as opposed to, an amateur quartet or even a professional quartet that isn't of the same level as these kind of professional groups that are dominating social media.
Yes.
Which, it's great. There's a lot of beautiful ensembles, and so it's trying to have an experience of training people towards that. On the other side of the programming for the Choral Institute is they will also be singing the music of the composers from the Composition Institute. So they'll be working with composers in performing their music, and they'll also be working alongside a 16-voice professional choir as well. So all in all, there'll be a 32-voice choir premiering these works, and so the weight of all of the new music won't be completely on the Choral Institute attendees. They'll be singing them, but they'll also be singing a lot of other music as well and trying to finesse their skills and small ensemble singing. The second week will be the Conducting Institute, and this will be the third time we've had this program, and it's a really, really wonderful program. It'll be the first time, though, we'll have had it for a full week. So this will be, I'm hoping to have 8 conducting fellows and then 8 conducting auditors who will still be able to conduct a little bit but have less podium time. But the idea is to have the conductors have podium time conducting a professional choir with training from James Jordan and Tim McDonald, and to have the experience of receiving feedback live while not being so much focused on kind of teaching the choir the notes and the music, right, that so many of us have to do in volunteer choirs, but really trying to work on the skill of the conductor themselves. How can they, if the choir has the notes, okay, how do you take the music to the next level there? And a lot of that is how the conductor expresses themselves in front of the choir in order to kind of manipulate the sound in a way that's the most musically expressive for what they want to communicate. So that's a really wonderful program. I know in the past years we've done it. I mean, we've had so many conductors have light bulb moments, and things just change, or they let go of control and the sound completely changes or something like that. But it's a beautiful program that I'm happy we're able to do again, and that will conclude with a Conducting Institute concert open to the public. But we'll also have daily masses and vespers that the conductors will be conducting for as well. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love how it's like mixing our faith with music. It's just very refreshing.
Yeah.
And I like that idea of how the choir already know the notes, and you can just be, as a conductor, like expressing what you want, and they'll reflect what you're trying to do.
Right.
Because half the time we're just like, watch me. You never get to do more than like what they can manage or how much they're watching, so it's really hard. So that's really lovely to have such an experience for conductors, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things with these programs is, we're very aware that when we go into our own communities, all the conditions are not ideal, right? And it's so hard to, create everything that to the perfection that we kind of desire on a day-to-day level. And that's just the reality. But it's so important to have those mountaintop experiences of, what does kind of the highest level of beauty and perfection in music sound like and look like, and can we experience that, and how can that inspire us as we go back into our own communities and try to transform them musically and create new music and beauty, and inspire them to in their work, so
because essentially what we know what perfection would sound like, and we know our own choirs may not get there, but we have an experience and knowledge of what it could be, and we can then strive to something a bit closer. If we never get that experience, then we don't really know what we're aiming for as people in the choir or the conductor. Like, that's what I've noticed. So you do need the real mountain top experiences, the times when it was just ethereal, and then you can work from there.
Yeah. So as much as possible, trying to have the transfiguration experiences, you know, so that people can, you know, be inspired to continue their life in the world and the daily mundane things we all do. But
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thank you. That was really comprehensive and great. And the final thing, which I'm very in awe of and I love very much, is you have a very cool patron, Cardinal Sarah, if I'm not mistaken. And how did that come about? And I think he's amazing. So
yeah, no,
please explain.
he's a wonderful man, very holy. Yeah, no, I first met Cardinal Sarah in 2017, I'm pretty sure, at the conference of Sacra Liturgia Milan. Um, so that was, I think, the first time I heard him speak, and then in 2019, I was fortunate to interview him for a podcast I was co-hosting called Square Notes, the Sacred Music podcast. So that that was a very wonderful privilege to meet with him then, and the first kind of interview I had with him. And then, yeah, I mainly would just see him at conferences and things. And then as I was founding the Catholic Sacred Music Project, I was able to tell him about it and asked him to kind of give it his blessing to be the patron. So very privileged to have that connection with him.
That's so cool. That's wonderful. And you had, I think on the website, well, I've seen photos as well as Cardinal Pell was presided one of your events as well.
He did, yes. Cardinal Pell celebrated the Mass in 2022 in San Francisco as part of Sacra Liturgia. So I had the choral festival that I had organized. All those attendees sang the Missa Pape Marcelli, conducted by Martin Baker, for a Mass that Cardinal Pell was celebrating for the conference.
Beautiful. No, it's wonderful. I think it's such a privilege. So
Yeah.
cool.
No, it certainly was. He was a really great man, an icon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I think we've taken up everyone's time enough, including yours. But thank you so much, Peter, for coming on. And everyone, I will link in stories and I'll try and do as many links to the Catholic Sacred Music Project, their Facebook page and their website. You don't have an Instagram page for it, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I'll try and spread that. And then, yeah, you're welcome to, if you've joined a bit later or whatever, like this will be on YouTube and on Instagram feed and everyone can watch it. And please pass around this great project that Peter is doing and the institutes that are coming up in, is it June? Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I forgot those dates. The first
That's okay.
June 9th through 15th for the Composition Institute and Choral Institute. And then the Conducting Institute is the 16th through the 21st.
Yeah. That's perfect.
So, yeah, people are welcome to apply to any or all of them.
And what level should we clarify? Like, who
Sure,
is this
that's a
for?
great question.
Professionals who want to upskill or a bit of amateurs? What's going on there?
Yeah, I think, part of the mission is to help grow kind of the circle of professional musicians serving the church and try to have music of the highest level, which does require a certain level of professionalism. And so we definitely try to have that be the target audience of professionals seeking professional development, but students are welcome to apply as well who are in their undergraduate or graduate degrees. But then also amateurs, I would happily, certainly encourage any excellent amateurs to apply as well. We're not trying to exclude anyone, but we're trying to maintain kind of the highest levels of performance and practice. So if people have other jobs or don't work as a professional musician, but love singing and do that a lot, please don't be afraid to apply, just because you wouldn't call yourself a professional musician.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Peter. Have a good afternoon and my evening. And maybe we can have you talk about another topic sometime. We can get you back on
That'd
for
be great.
something. All
Thanks so
right.
much, Grace. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. God bless.
You too. Bye-bye.